help the so to so to any ally, Canada, Britain, Germany, France, if you try to help the ICC, we're going to sanction you.
Well, that means I want every ally, and you saw little Justin in Canada and his position. What should the penalty be?
We should crush your economy because we're next. Why can't so to...
Did you hear that? We're going to crush your economy because we're next. So that means, how are they going to crush your economy? They're going to bring forth severe sanctions, man. Yo, that's dangerous, man. Hey, and this ties into biblical prophecy, man. Going into Revelation chapter 17, verse 16. I'm going to roughly quote it. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore. Oh, and this is why the 10 horns and the beast hate the whore. The 10 horns and the beast pretty much represent NATO and the EU and the UN. Pretty much. Okay? And those organizations are composed of different nations. And the whore is America. America is in charge of the beast and the 10 horns. They're over them. Because they're over those organizations that I mentioned. So if they're over those organizations, that means they're over those nations that are in those organizations. But yeah, man, these shall hate the whore. And this is one of the reasons why the Lord is making these nations, especially the 10 horns and the beast, to hate the whore. And that's why the beast is going to turn against the whore later on. And we're in that time. We're in that time, and we're going to witness it, Lord willing. I do. So you see it here, man. Lindsey Graham, Senator Lindsey Graham, that comes out of South Carolina. And by the way, he's a Republican. And you see what he said. Lindsey Graham wants to sanction U.S. allies if they enforce ICC arrest warrants for Netanyahu and Gallant. That's right. The ICC just stands for International Criminal Court. And that is composed of 124 members. And I believe America isn't a part of it. And you notice they mentioned little Justin. You know who they're referring to? They're referring to Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, which he's the head of Canada, man, the state of Canada or the country of Canada. So they're disrespecting him. I believe Canada is a founding member of the ICC, which it was founded back in the year 2002. So I believe, Canada is a founding member right along with Germany, France, Britain, and Australia. I believe that those were some of the founding members, but Canada is one of them. So that's your response to people who have power, right? That's your response, and that's why the beast hates the whore, man. Talking shit and ruling the nations in anger, man, with a continual stroke. It's a damn brute, man. You're gonna crush a nation's economy. When you go after a nation's economy, you're waging war, man. And you're destroying their people. And I'll say this, in Canada, man, in certain places, especially in Ontario, cities like Toronto, cities like Brampton, York region, right? The standard of living is high over there, man. I believe Justin Trudeau is taking away GST and HST from groceries and clothes, kids' clothes, restaurants for 2 months because people can't afford things, man, because the standard of living is so high, right? So you forwarding the affliction and taking down the Canadian economy and putting sanctions on Canada, it's just going to cause more problems for the people over here. And that's gonna lead to more hate, and eventually that hate is going to turn into violence, man. And that's what the scriptures is going into. Revelation chapter 17, verse 16. So anyways, you saw the video. You saw the video. Now I want to get into an article. I'm gonna jump around and just going into more what Lindsey Graham is saying. So this is from econotimes.com. Lindsey Graham's fiery warning: crush your economy over Netanyahu arrest, warns shock U.S. allies. So I'm gonna jump down here. It says Graham's threat to allies. In a Friday interview on Fox News, Graham condemned the ICC warrants and announced plans to introduce legislation targeting countries that assist in enforcing them. See? Because this guy, Benjamin Netanyahu, and his officials that are under him, they're a bunch of criminals, man. Right? And killing off those Palestinian people and starving them out and raping them and just murdering them, man. Right? So he's actually a criminal. Right? And in the United States, they don't want him to get arrested. And you know, there's reasons for that too, because I believe Israel has their special their what is it their intelligence agency out there called the Mossad, I believe. And I believe in the eyes of the United States, they're a pillar that's they're a strong pillar that's fighting against terrorism, so to speak, over there in the Middle East. So they want to keep this guy happy. They like Benjamin Netanyahu, right? So anyways, it says, if you help the ICC arrest Israeli officials, the U.S. will impose severe sanctions, Graham declared, adding that allies like Canada, Germany, and France must choose between the ICC and America. So you must choose. You have to choose. Either you choose the ICC or you choose America. And if you don't choose me, I'm going to destroy you, man. I'm going to crush your economy. Oh, right? The senator's comments underscore a broader GOP stance against the ICC. The Senator Tom Cotton hinting at the potential use of military force, referencing the Hague Invasion Act. This U.S. law permits military intervention to release American or allied personnel detained by the ICC. So here's international reactions. So it says here, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau affirmed his nation's commitment to ICC regulations, stating it's essential to abide by international law. So he's standing firm on his decision. I'm going to go forward in trying to take this guy down, Benjamin Netanyahu. So other countries, including Italy, Sweden, and Turkey, have signaled their willingness to cooperate with the ICC. However, enforcement of the warrants remains uncertain. The ICC lacks its own policing mechanisms and relies on member nations for compliance, with 124 member states obligated to enforce the arrest warrants. Netanyahu faces significant travel restrictions. So, you know, this is just this further backs up what the scriptures is going into. Now, let me get the precept. This is Revelation chapter 17, verse 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, ye shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. And burning her with fire is going into thermonuclear destruction. And eventually, the 10 horns, the beast, those nations, they're going to shoot their missiles upon America and destroy her. That's why in Revelation, the 9th chapter, it talks about 200,000 going into the missiles. So many missiles are going to be shot onto America. And it's going to totally destroy America, man. Totally. Verse 17, for the Most High hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast until the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled. All right, so this is all the Lord's plan. Okay, this is through his will. Why all these things are happening on the earth. This is why the beast and the 10 horns are allowing America to rule over them. Right? Because this is through the will and spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. So the Lord is responsible for this. He is responsible. Okay? And he is the one creating the tension. Don't you forget it. So now let's get another one. See here. I think it's this one. Just want to jump around here. Nope, that's not the one. Hold on. I think it's this one. Yeah. From the Jerusalem Post. ICC arrest warrants and global assault on Judaism and Israel's leadership opinion. So I'm going to jump around here. Here we go. So an attack on the values of the American Revolution. But the ICC did not just target the Jewish state last week, as discussed in a previous column article. The West's assault on Judaism is also a threat to U.S. national security. See? U.S. national security. Because like I said, they rely on, I believe it's the Mossad over there. Let me pull that word up. Mossad. Right? Mossad, the Institute for Intelligence and Special Operations. So it's like Israel's version of the CIA. Okay? And that's why it says U.S. national security, because they view the Mossad as a pillar that goes up against fighting terrorism, or so-called terrorism, when we know that they're the real terrorists. All right, so it says Israel is viewed by top military experts as the most moral army in the world. Therefore, the ICC, starting with Israel, sets a low bar for what could come after, indeed, without much fanfare. The ICC last week appointed itself to the role of deciding who will live and who will die. Conceptually, the ICC is defying the American motto of one nation under God and replacing it with one world under the ICC. The precedent and template have been set last week. It was fully endorsed by France, Canada, the EU, and many others, right? So you know the EU is there, so that's going into the beast, right? So this is the beast and the 10 horns, man. And they're going up against America, right? And they're not interested in following the American motto, right? One nation under God. And which God are you talking about? It ain't the God of the Bible, that's for sure. It ain't Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. It's Satan, right? It's Satan. So anyways, it says here, former South African Foreign Minister Naledi Pandor, who was at the forefront of the ICC attack, has already made it clear America is next, she affirmed. In a sense, the ICC drafted de facto shadow arrest warrants, boilerplates, that can be used against former U.S. presidents and government officials, which the ICC has already attempted to investigate for alleged war crimes in Iraq and Afghanistan. So, yeah, man, you see that? So they're the real criminals. You know, a lot of them, those former presidents like Bush, what's his name, Obama, Trump, Biden, you know, they're all war criminals, man. You know, they're murderers, they're killers. They're killers, man. So it says, and you know, this even goes beyond Iraq and Afghanistan. You know, the presidents that were before this time, you know, they're criminals too, man. A bunch of wicked men. So it says, France collaboration pledge also threatens the U.S. in a more immediate way. If President Obama or President Bush wish to visit France, this now likely requires a higher level of security assessment. One just needs to connect the dots. The ICC wishes to investigate the U.S. for war crimes. Arrest warrants are issued without notice, and France is on the record that it will comply with such arrest warrants, even if issued against former or current heads of state. There you go. So travel paralysis warfare is not just in theory. Last week, Australia denied entry to former Israel Justice Minister Aliet Shaked, or Shaked. I don't know how to pronounce that, Slovakia, reportedly due to their opposition to the establishment of a Palestinian state, a position held by the majority of Israeli Jews on the left and right alike. So there you go, man. 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, thee shall hate the whore. We just read it, all right? And shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh. And that's going into thermonuclear destruction. So you heard the United States has said, we should crush your economies, put severe sanctions on you. Hey, man, that leads to hate, and that hate is going to turn into violence. You do that. You just do that. Anyway, when you do that, you're just fulfilling prophecy. Now, let me get a precept. This is Isaiah chapter 14. Let's start at verse 6 here. I'm going to start at, I'll start at verse 4. That thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon. And Babylon going into the United States. Right, Babylon. And who's the king of Babylon? Really, it's the elite banking families. It's not the president. It ain't Trump. It ain't Biden. It's really the elites. And the elites, man, they have orchestrated all of this. The international banking families, they have orchestrated everything that you're seeing take place on the stage, man. Okay, this global stage. So it says, and say, how hath the oppressor ceased, and the golden city ceased? Golden city being America. Yahweh hath broken the staff of the wicked, and the scepter of the rulers. That's right. So it has taken their power away, taken away their rulership. Okay, because the wicked is hell, man. Verse 6. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke. Part of that is that continual stroke is bringing forth sanctions on these different nations' economies, man. What the hell are you doing with that? That's a continual stroke. That's wrath, man. That's wicked. Right? Taking a nation's ability away to provide for itself and its citizens, man. That's wicked, man. I'm not saying that those nations don't deserve it either. Those nations are wicked too. Right? Because they are the hammer of the earth. That's America. America is the hammer of the earth. And they bring forth judgment on the left-hand side. And that's set up by Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. So anyways, it says, he that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted, and none hindereth. The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. Yeah, and that's the whole earth. The whole earth is going to be at rest when you go down. When that whore goes down, when that bitch goes down, the whole earth is going to be at rest and it's going to be quiet, and people are going to rejoice, man. Okay, verse 8. Yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no feller has come up against us. There you go, man. And that's all that I want from here, because I just wanted to focus on verse 6. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, man. Wicked, man. He's a brute beast. He's a tyrant. You don't agree with me? If you side with the ICC and you don't side with America, we're going to crush your economy, man. He said crush. The man said crush. That means severe sanctions, not light sanctions, severe sanctions. A damn brute beast, man. All right? That's serious. So let me get a precept. Hammer of the earth. Right? Let's see if I can find it. This is Jeremiah chapter 50, going into Babylon, which is America. Right? So this is America being destroyed. Right? So it says here, Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 23, how is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How has Babylon become a desolation among the nations? I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou wast not aware. Thou art found and also caught, because thou hast striven against Yahweh. Right? And it's because you went against Yahweh Bashem Yahushai by humility, by something called by crucifying the Lord a second time, bringing iconoclasm, mocking the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, and destroying his people. So the Lord's against you, man. He's going to take you down. And you notice it says the hammer of the whole earth means you're the judge of the earth and you have power. That's why you're the world's police. That's why you call shots. That's why you're riding the beast. That's why you're at the top of the international community. That's why these nations bend to your will, because you have power, and that comes with your military. That comes with you also weaponizing the dollar, destroying these nations' economies, man. Come on. Because thou hast striven against the Lord Yahweh. Yahweh hath opened his armory and hath brought forth the weapons of his indignation. For this is the work of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai of armies in the land of the Chaldeans. Wow. So you know that part of that armory is going into them missiles, man. Going into them missiles. And speaking of missiles, let's get a precept. Let's get Revelation chapter 9. And we can start at see. Give me 1 second. Salakia. So this is Revelation chapter 9, verse 16. And it says, and the number of the army of horsemen. See, so this is an army, which are the missiles. Army of horsemen were 200,000, and I heard the number of them. And thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them, having breastplates of fire and of jacinth and brimstone, and the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions, and out of their mouth is issued fire, and smoke, and brimstone. And by these three was the third part of men killed, by the fire, and by the smoke, and by the brimstone, which issued out of their mouths. There you go. And that beast, is the third part of men going into NATO and the EU, and America, which that includes America. Right, they're going to be destroyed by thermonuclear destruction. For their power is in their mouth and in their tails. Yeah, going into the missiles, the warhead that's within the missile. It's at the front of the missile. That's the power. That's why it says the power is in the mouth, because the warhead is at the top of the missile. It's at the point, right? So it says, for their tails were like unto serpents, and had heads, and with them they do hurt, and the rest of the men which were not killed by these plagues, yet repented not of the works of their hands, that they should not worship devils and idols of gold and silver and brass and stone and of wood, which neither can see nor hear nor walk, neither repented they of their murders, nor of their sorceries, nor of their fornication, nor of their thefts. You see, so even when destruction comes, they're not going to repent for all the wickedness that they have done. And you see it here, man. Like they're trying to bring Netanyahu. They're trying to put him in jail, man. They're trying to, arrest him. And this guy's not acknowledging that he's a murderer. And you have powers like the United States trying to prevent or stop this guy's arrest. Right, so these people are wicked, man. They're not gonna, they're not gonna repent. Even after destruction, even when everything is broken down, these people cannot change. These people cannot change, and don't expect them to change. So anyway, man, I hope this was edifying. Until next time, just want to give all praises, glory, and honor due unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rakah HaChodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Mill, son of Jim, S2S Shalom. Kwame Shalom.